I hear a phone behind me.
That was a record button on the phone.
Oh.
It was me, I'm sorry.
Okay, now it's like, okay, making sure nobody's gonna interfere.
I remember when the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out. My family took us in this big old truck we had at the time. We filled the back with blankets, and we drove up. And I remember the scene that always stuck in my head is in the very beginning when Elizabeth Swann is being proposed to by the bad guy. And you see her start panting, and she faints, and she falls off the cliff. And in comes Johnny Depp, running in, the cool pirate, grabs her, brings his sword, cuts off the corset, brings her up, and she's like, oh, I can breathe again. And he comes in with this cool line. I do this every day. And I think that's the image most of us get with corsets, right? The old Victorian woman about to faint because she can't breathe. And that's very true. That did happen a lot. Most women would fall over. It was seen as because they were delicate. In reality, they couldn't breathe. It still happens today. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about Johnny Depp or pirates. I'm talking about corsets. And I'm going to show you how to properly and safely lace one using what I like to call the bunny ear method. So before anyone ever attempts to tie a corset, you need to be fully aware of the dangers. But along with the dangers, you might be asking, who, other than me, wears a corset? A lot of people. From Kim K to cosplayers to just average women that like the style. Plenty of women still wear them. It's not the Victorian era thing that we might think of now. Ooh, just kidding. Okay. Dangers. I mentioned before, right? So as you can see here, this is what a woman, her body looks like. See how her intestines are moved down? This causes a lot of problems. It's putting pressure on your ribs, your stomach, your lungs are not fully expanding. It can misalign your spine. And corsets are considered underwear, but it's different from wearing a bra or something. You can genuinely hurt yourself, and that's very important to understand. While I personally choose to wear one, it's always important to be aware of the risks. I have been wearing one for about a year, and I mentioned that I cosplayed, I think, over spring break. And pictured here, I was wearing a corset underneath. And corsets should not be worn longer than 2 hours. I wore mine for 6. Very stupid of me. After taking off the fun costume and the corset underneath, my ribs were bruised. Badly injured, was in pain, because I wasn't being intelligent. It's important to remember this. Okay, so how do we do lace it? Caitlin, can you come up? This is my beautiful assistant, Caitlin. Oh, okay. Well, normally we lace it with cord, like on mine, the black, sturdy cord. She is laced with blue yarn, so you can easily see what I'm talking about. You want to show me? Feel free to look at her person. So the very first step is connecting the two pieces. And this was popularized by a 5-year corset wearer, someone far above me, named Marie Ann, who created the bunny ears name and talked about it on our website, Lingerie Addicts. So basically you're connecting the two pieces. The very first step is connecting a joining line. And next you're creating X's. You're taking these ties and you're pulling it across in a sharp X that's going to lay outside of the corset. And what I like to do is something called the finger test. You're going to lay your finger on the bar, and if it's over your finger, it's proper. After this, you're creating one under. You're taking those ties and again moving it below, and you're having one, so it's below, on top, below. And again with the finger test, if you do it again, you'll see that the second little X, oh, let me tighten this. What? The next step is where the bunny ears come in. So about halfway down, and this changes from corset to corset, you're going to do a straight line down compared to an X. You're doing one straight line. And you'll see the importance of this in a minute, but this is the biggest step and where it, in fact, gets its name. And the pattern goes on. Once the bunny ears are made, you're continuing the pattern. Out, in, to create this X pattern with your ears in the middle. And now, the important part, when you pull on these ears, Caitlin, these are the ears that you just, these ears that you just created, you pull them in. And that pulls in every little X we just made, creating the corset. These are tied. And you're ready to go. The knot would be made at the end to safely secure it, like, well, you can't see, but Caitlin does have on, to secure all of your X's. That's basically it. It's a very simple process. And the more you do it, the more you get better at it. But again, I want to stress, it is dangerous. Wearing a corset does cause a lot of problems. One article I found by Emily Bracker, she asked, do corsets hurt women? And very simply, the answer is yes. So, wrapping this up, it's a wonderful style, plenty of women wear them, but remember, it's your body, be careful, and love yourself.